guys, what's going on? I just wanted to come to you today to circle back to something I mentioned earlier this month. I talked about releasing a time management tool on the website at some point in April, and I'm excited that that point is this weekend. So if you go to DeckDevotionals.com/time, before the weekend's out, you will find that time management tool there available to download. It's called Reclaiming My Days. I'm going to put a couple videos out this weekend and next week that talk about how to effectively use the tool, or at least how I use the tool in a way that helped me, what I'm hoping you get out of it, and a couple things related to the topic of time management in general. But for the purpose of this video, there's just a couple things I wanted to make sure that you knew before this hit the website this weekend. I designed this tool out of my own need, right? I have struggled with time management for all of my adult life, and within the past year or so, I've just had to come to terms with how quickly I'd become subject to my schedule, right? I mean, it's amazing how thin the line between busy and burnout is. I know a lot of you can probably relate to that. And so as I came to terms with that, I also came to terms with the fact that something had to change, because life was chaotic, and God is not a God of chaos, He's a God of order. And I couldn't keep living this way and expect to be effective in what I was doing, right? But I didn't know how to change it, because I didn't have an accurate understanding of where my time was actually going, right? How do I have no time left at the end of my month? And so I'm a visual person, so I had to see this all laid out. So on a piece of paper, and this is literally the first piece of paper that I wrote on, I started to write down where my time goes, so that I could see it all laid out, right? I wrote about work, ministry, even family dinners, right? I counted for everything. And I got detailed with it, because you and I both know that the time invested in something is a lot more than just the time that you physically have to show up, right? What I mean by that is, you and I both know that if your kid plays soccer, there's a lot more time involved in that than simply showing up to the field on Saturday morning, right? You know, for me, leading worship, it's something that I had convinced myself was 4 or 5 hours a month, right? For the purpose of balancing out time in my head for my schedule. It's 4 or 5 hours a month. Well, it's really not, because when I look at it on paper and I see what my schedule really is, not just what I convinced myself it was, it's actually closer to 10 hours, because in addition to showing up on Sunday or Wednesday to lead, I've also got rehearsal time, set planning, learning new music, printing out the music we need, right? There's a lot that goes into it, and I'm sure that you have tons of things like that too. And so that's what this did for me. And so that little worksheet quickly became this, because, you know, when you add colors, it's more fun. And that's what you're going to find on the website this weekend, is that tool, Reclaiming My Days. And so what I did is categorize what types of things consume my time. And then I got into what falls where on my schedule in the average month. And so once I saw it all laid out, what I also saw was how much time I actually had left, right? There are 730 hours in the average month. And I had, at the end of my month, about 33 hours unaccounted for. Percentage-wise, it's 4.5%, right? I've been living for the past 1.5 or 2 years on a 4.5% margin of time. And that's simply not healthy, right? Of course, I'm constantly feeling burnt out and frustrated with my schedule. There's no way that could ever be efficient. And not only that, but it doesn't allow any room for growth. All that I can ever do with 4.5% margin in my month is maintain what I'm currently doing. And I don't believe that's how God's called us to live. And so doing this helped me understand where my time is really going, so that I can effectively make the changes with the Lord that have to be made. And so if you relate to anything that I've just said, I would check this tool out this weekend. I think it'll be useful for you. I've had a couple people test it to make sure. And everybody seems to think that it's something that could be useful if you're someone that struggles with time management. So check it out this weekend, DeckDevotionals.com/time. Let me know what you think. And in the meantime, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week.